Alright, so after a long time, longer than I care to admit, finally got the car to run right. Idle's real high, still gotta fix it. Still gotta clean up my wires and my mess here, but you know, still got a ways to go. But it runs and it doesn't shut off on me. It runs reliably. That's good. You know, but just cleaned it up. Running all nice and smooth. I cleaned out all the leaves in here. Still got a little one and some gloves and stuff, but real clean interior. It could use a good shampoo. Cleaning on the inside on the doors there. Back here, these are just my rags, but aside from that, very clean on here, in here. Kind of like that old wore out Grand Fury badge. Oops. My busted out mirror. I cut my finger on that when I passed out the first time. She warms up, quiets down. I just love that view. I'll take it for a little spin. Alright. She's running. So this is going to be impromptu. You know, it's not going to be the best. Radio still don't work. Oops. I gotta get that adjusted. Come along for a quick ride in the parking lot with an 87 Plymouth Gran Fury. 22,372 miles, or 22,300 miles even on the dot. There's a lot of things in this car that don't add up to being driven more than 100,000 miles. You know, I'm not a mechanic, and I'm not the best person to fix cars. You know, my experience is very, my experience is very limited, you know. But I will say one thing is for sure and for certain, that that's how many miles are on there. Things like the buttons, some of the chrome, some of the places where you put your fingers that would indicate you have to grab a lot if you're driving for any extended period of time. If you're driving often, you know, then you're gonna be touching some of these things. Well, in this case, there's these things are not grabbed. Oh look, there's an Amazon car. You know, there's a lot of things in this car that have not been touched. The radio, for example, the heater buttons, you know, the push and pull heater buttons. You touch those on these old Chryslers, you're gonna wear the plastic off of them. You know, the plastic chrome that's there. Doesn't happen on this car. Steering wheel, the horns. You know, there's a lot of things that don't add up that indicates that this car's ever been driven hard. Boy, is it smooth. With the 3-speed 904 torque flight, you know, and the way that this 318 is restricted and down on horsepower, you know, that first gear is real tall. So especially driving on today's roads, it can make it a little bit daunting, I guess you could call it, because you know, normally you'd expect to speed up like everybody else, but you know, you don't. So I'm gonna wait for these vatos to go. Yeah, she's actually driving and is very smooth too. Some of these bumps, man, you just go over them and you don't even feel them. I mean, you do, but it's not like in a sports car and a new car. They must have put an aftermarket fuel pump on here because it never reaches full. It only goes up to half. Look in the back seat there, just for a couple of seconds while I'm driving. You know, not bad. The cushions are another thing about this car. The cushions themselves are still poofy, and the velour, which this carpet's interior is, especially where a person were to sit, is still poofy, and it is still very smooth. If you sit on this velour interior for any amount of time, any old timer well, I guess you could call them old timers, but now middle-aged and 50-year-old dudes, you know, they'll know for a fact that these interiors don't last long. The more you sit on them, the more you drive on them. And the interior in this car is just fantastic. Picks up. It moves. Jingo. Bitching a nice car. I'm in a ratty car. But it ain't ratty, man. This old Plymouth is a smooth ride. I just like driving this thing around. I'm gonna make one more loop. But it really needs to be driven because it ain't been driven in a long time. Oh shit, I almost ran over my transmission fluid. But there's gonna be a big learning curve for me ahead driving this car. You know, my father says that when you drive a Dodge, well, this is a Plymouth though, but same car. When you drive one of them, you just point it in the direction that you go and put your foot on the pedal, or you put your foot, well, either pedal, accelerator or brake. Put one or the other, and that's where you go. You don't really worry about driving it as a sports car. You just drive it. Well, everybody, here's just a quick video of toting around the parking lot here. Nice Friday afternoon after Thanksgiving. Mid-70s out. Very nice. I would prefer colder temperatures though. But I do need new tires, and I need to fix my windshield wipers. I'll drive it as long as it's dry and sunny out, and if I'm not going far. But I do need new tires. I do need new shocks. And I do need my windshield wipers to work. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the little drive around here with the Grand Fury. A 20-foot car, man. My papa was driving it, and he kind of cut it short because he's used to driving a Jeep. You know, he ain't used to driving anything with any kind of nose on it. So I joked with him, when's the last time that you drove a 20-foot car, you know? And it's been about 20 years. But I hope you enjoyed it all. There you go. 1 mile with me driving around. Wonder why my DC light's on. Alternator maybe. We'll have to check.